So during the pandemic, I wasn't really able to do much music stuff anymore, so I basically quit. And instead of doing classical music, opera, choir stuff, I ended up doing construction. And my friend's dad just pretty much hit me up and was like, hey, I need a guy. So I just did just kind of like entry-level work, I guess, you know. Just like, let's say like demolition is like breaking down of houses, and you know, like you just kind of haul the stuff out and you take it to the dump and back and stuff like that. And you know, just like removing nails, stuff, you know, what you have to do to kind of like prepare for people who are just kind of specialists in framing or something, stuff like that. And one of these days, you know, it was like one of those days I had to pick up something from Home Depot and bring it back to the job site. And you know, I went over there looking for the concrete, and you know, people were just kind of dull. You know, it's one of those mornings where it's just not, you know, it's just like, it's kind of, people are just weird. Driving on the road, people are just kind of not friendly, not nice. And you go in the store and you're asking for, hey, where's the concrete? And the lady's just kind of totally dismissive, like, what? So lunchtime came around, and I decided to sit down on that bench and just eat my lunch. And after I finished my tuna sandwich, I just decided, you know what, it's a good time to meditate. So I sat there and I just sort of just gazed forward and closed my eyes and just listened to everything around me and let myself be distracted by everything in the present moment. And I just listened. It's kind of like a form of mindfulness. And you know, the weird thing is, a dog started barking. And I was like, oh, interesting. Distraction. And I just intentionally went into the sound and was like, awesome. You know, you want to think about everything as just kind of being fresh and new. That's the way you become present. Just kind of like a child. When a child looks at something and for the first time, they're not thinking about their ex-girlfriend. They're not thinking about, some stuff that happened back in college. They're simply there in the present moment. So as I hear this dog barking, you know, its owner is just kind of looking at it like, what are you barking at? And that dog doesn't know. The dog just started barking. It's just doing what it does, I guess. You know, some dogs, they're getting a little fit and just start barking. And I just thought it was funny, and and just kind of relaxed into it. And soon that dog just kind of walked away. And so I just, peace again. Just listen to the birds chirp, the leaves rustle, the cars driving by, as you might be able to hear. People playing music in their car, just feeling present. And as I just kind of sat there, some guy walks over. You know, just some dude. He just sits about 6 feet away from me on that bench, and he just sits there, man. And I'm just like, what the hell? And he takes out a sandwich and starts eating. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Look over at him. Doesn't look at me. He's just eating a sandwich. I look forward. Close my eyes. I'm just sitting there. You know, just meditating, you know, and just listening to everything around me. And then he starts putting away his sandwich, and he opens a bag of chips. It is just the most obnoxious thing ever. And I'm just like, what in the world? And I'm just thinking, why does he have to do this right now? I look over at him. He doesn't look at me. I look through the glass at him, and he's just avoiding eye contact, won't look at me. And I just think to myself, well, if this is a distraction, this is one crazy sent by God distraction, just keeping me from really being present, because I'm irritated now. I sip my kombucha, put it down, and keep looking for it. And I realize, wait, this is a distraction sent by God, and God is basically the force, and the universe is God, and just kind of like we're all part of God. Then this guy's literally God, and he just came here and sat next to me to bring me out of my, all the things that have been bothering me, and like at that moment, the guy just walked up. No, like he stood up and walked away. And it blew my mind, because the moment I thought, this guy's God. This guy is sent by God, all in the same. Just like the many tentacled spaghetti monster that atheists like to make fun of, I'm not sure if you noticed, but every once in a while I'm moving the camera so my lovely audience doesn't get bored. But anyway, on with my story. The guy gets up and starts walking away, and I'm looking at him like, wow. I'm so humbled to be visited by the cosmos in this way. I'm so humbled to have God literally just go out of his way to just bother me and say hi. And this guy didn't know what he was doing. He had no idea what he was doing. He just decided to sit there next to this unassuming person who he refused to talk to. And I'm just like, what? So as he's walking away, I'm just so happy. I'm just so glad that, in my mind it's just like, wow, I'm just filled with happiness. And he looks up and he sees his friend, and all of a sudden his friend is like saying, yo, what up, dude? And he's like, hey man, hi, oh my god, I haven't seen you forever. And I'm looking at them both like, wow, it's all positive now. The morning sucked, but now it's all positive. It's all fun, and they were happy. This really awkward guy was exhibiting social skills, and I was just kind of like stoked, So I thought to myself, you see this car drive, park right behind me, yeah? And I'm just like, wow, these distractions, it really is something. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should just pack up and go. I should go back to work. So I pack up and I go back to work, and I'm walking down the hallway, and everybody is just stoked. Everybody is happy. Everybody is just smiling, laughing. I see this guy, kind of like this old guy, just kind of parked, and he's getting out of his car. He looks all grumpy, He's like, ugh. Looks up at me. He smiles the biggest smile, and I'm just like, hi. And as I'm walking, this other guy, he's trying to get into his office. He's locked out. And I look at him, and, I'm thinking, if that guy's God, this guy must also be God. Because kind of like the Force, the forces and everything. I'm looking at him just like, whoa. Like Keanu Reeves, whoa, man. Whoa. But I didn't make those sounds, obviously. This guy looks back at me, and he's like, hi. I was like, yeah. That's it. Happens sometimes, he was locked out of his office. And he was just like, yeah. Who are you? He asks me. Do you work here? And I'm like, oh no, I just come here for lunch sometimes. A great place to sit and meditate. He's just looking at me like I'm Jesus. And I'm looking at him like he's Jesus. And it's just blowing my mind. I'm just like, what in the world is going on? And there was no visual hallucination, but it just felt like the entire universe was breathing and going, wow. It's ridiculous. So I told this story to somebody, and they were telling me, I hope you don't think you're Jesus. And no, I don't think I'm Jesus. It was just that I was recognizing the divine within this dude. And this dude was simultaneously doing the same for me.
And he was confused, and I was confused, and it was a wonderful moment.
Well, that concludes the story. And, you know, whenever I'm feeling down, I like to do just that. I like to recognize the divine in everyone, in everything, in every leaf, in every stone, in every, like, I guess, grain of sand. You know, and just kind of like, when I say to see Jesus in someone, I mean just that, to recognize the divine, to recognize that unseen force that's only really felt. And yeah, and I hope that you find that as well. It's hard to think because I'm walking up a mountainside. I should have just sat down and recorded this. I just wanted to share that with everybody. And I hope you guys also find the divine in everything. And that's just one way that nobody ever talks about, really. You know, they talk about mindfulness meditation, letting your thoughts flow, but they never talk about focusing on everything that distracts you, which is kind of a oxymoron, right? But in that, like, I think that's one way we can all find the divine and the breath of life. And just kind of like in this other video series by this other dude named Joshua Bell, and it's called Pneuma. I think the first one is called Breath, and that divine breath in everything, not just living things, but in the wind, which you can argue is living or not, I don't know, in the rocks, in the sand, and everything, in the beauty of life.